Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة، حي على الصلاة، حي على الفلاح، حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. أما بعد. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, our khutbah today is inshallah a reminder of the 4 steps in the Quran for transformation. The type of transformation that is everlasting, the big change. Part of the reason I chose this topic was because a few weeks back I was at home watching a documentary on the television. And this documentary was about a well-known Muslim nation that has Islamic law within their legal system. It's fair to say that this documentary was critical of the country, and within it they interviewed a few of the citizens that are not really happy with with the way things are going on. Among them were 2 sisters. And one of them, the problem she had, she traveled abroad to study, and according to her, when she returned back home, her family thought she was too westernized. She'd changed. Their solution that they proposed to her was in effect to prevent her from returning to continue her studies. And they wanted her to marry someone of their choosing, thinking that will resolve it, because they basically thinking, our daughter was with us, she was fine, she followed the rules, now she's come back and she looks different, and that was their solution. So while watching this documentary, I thought to myself, there we have some people living in Islamic countries with Islamic rules, complaining about the rules and turning away from them as soon as they get the chance. Countries that some of us wish to live in because we believe practicing our deen will be easier, because Islam is part of the law and daily lives in these countries. For example, the working week is Sunday to Thursday in some of these countries, meaning you never going to miss Salatul Jum'at because of work. Getting regular breaks from work when it's Salat times. All this is we see, and in effect are envious, thinking we wish we lived in societies like that. Yet we have people that have been born and raised in these countries, living there and still rejecting the rules. This sister remarked that having traveled abroad to study and tasted what she perceived as freedom, it was unbearable for her to live in her home country again. So the question I asked myself was, why do some Muslims born and raised in these countries reject the Islamic teachings they have been brought up with? And this question is true to us as well, in England and wherever we may live. We have families amongst ourselves where we raise our kids as Muslim, they follow all the rules, and as soon as they reach adults and leave our homes, maybe go to university, they change and they stop following it. Are these people following the rules because they have to? Do they realize these rules are not man-made and are from Allah? We do not want people to treat matters of deen like, say for instance, the speeding laws. Whereas when you see the speed camera, people slow down, and as soon as they go past it, they speed up again. So the example to being in a country where alcohol is haram, you stay away from it, and go to where it's not haram, well, everything's allowed, then you embark and partake in it. If we want ourselves and our families and communities to be good Muslims, we must learn from the methods of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad transformed his people in Mecca and the whole of Arabia and a whole lot more all over the world, people who never even met him, through his teachings and the methods he used. During his 23 years of prophethood, our Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam transformed a then relatively unknown place in Arabia that had its own cultural practices for thousands of years. He changed the way people ate, the way people conducted their business, the way people dressed, engaged in war, and so on. It completely changed their entire lives for the better. The same message spread and transformed to the lives of people all around the world. When we hear stories of the Sahabas, radiallahu anhum, we're amazed at how much they were willing to give up for Islam. Some of them literally gave up everything they had in this dunya because they believed in the message. Allah tells us in the Quran, in Surah 62, al-jum'at, verses 1 to 3, بعد أن أقول أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يسبح لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض الملك القدوس العزيز الحكيم هو الذي بعث في الأميين رسولا منهم يتلو عليهم آياته ويزكيهم ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمة وإن كانوا من قبل لفي ضلال مبين وآخرين منهم لما يلحقوا بهم وهو العزيز الحكيم. Allah tells us in the Quran that whatever is in the heavens and whatever is on earth is exalting Allah, the sovereign, the king, the pure, the exalted in might, the wise. It is He, Allah, who is sent among the unlettered a messenger from themselves, reciting to them His verses and purifying them, and teaching them the book and wisdom, although these people before the message were in clear error. And to others of them who have not yet joined them, and to others of them who have not yet joined them, and He is the exalted in might, the wise. So the verse mentioned Allah sending Rasulullah to Mecca, and the transformation that His people went through, how Rasulullah read the signs of Allah and purified people and taught them the book, the law, and wisdom, and others that haven't joined them yet. So this applies to us as well in the Ummah of Rasulullah. We never met Rasulullah, but this guide is there for us to follow. The verses list 4 names of Allah: the King, the Pure, the Authority, and the Wise, and link these names to the 4 tasks that were given to our Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, highlighting signs of the King to prove His existence, purifying hearts with words from the pure, teaching the laws that the Authority has decreed, and teaching wisdom from the wise. Being the last prophet means that there will not be another messenger after Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam to come and guide humanity. But his 4 steps, the task he was given, and guidance, the Quran, if applied correctly, will continue to guide humanity until the last day. The Quran guides us through these 4 steps as follows. The King has signs. So in order for someone to recognize the presence of Allah, the existence of Allah, we look at His signs. The Quran draws our attention in numerous places to, for instance, to the alternation of night and day, how precise that is. We live in a globe, it's during the day here, somewhere in America or Australia, it's different time of the day. The alternation of night and day happens every day consistently. That is in itself a sign that there's a supreme being in control. The Quran explains to us how the rain brings life to the dead earth. An example of how the Quran is capable of reviving our dead hearts. If we do this enough, contemplate on the Quran, we will be in no doubt that there is a Creator, and we will be in awe of His majesty. We will be aware of Allah's ultimate authority. We will fear and respect Him and seek His mercy. In Surah Al-Fatiha, we say Maliki Yawmiddin, the King of Judgment Day, a reminder that He has ultimate responsibility, authority, and that we will be held accountable for our deeds. If we consider the greatness of Allah, it will make us realize how insignificant we are in the scheme of things. We will become abd, servants of Allah. The next name is the Pure, free from flaws. The Pure purifies. The Quran purifies hearts by bringing us close to Allah, the Pure. It also constantly gives us reminders to purify our hearts. It says to us, remind, for indeed the reminder benefits the believer. The next name being the Authority commands respect, and His laws are supreme. We're in England, we know that if you drive in a car and you're using a mobile phone, there are repercussions. You'll get a penalty, you might even get banned. We know the consequences. Allah is the best example, the highest example. We know and recognize that Allah's authority commands respect and His laws are supreme. And there are consequences for our actions. The wise, Al-Hakim, imparts wisdom. The Quran teaches us wisdom from the wise. It reminds us that we do not see the bigger picture. It tells us that in a verse, you may hate something, but it is good for you. And you may love something, and it is bad for you. Because we only see what happens now. So calamity befalls one of us, or as the brother mentioned last week in the surah, in the story of Khidr alayhi salam and Musa alayhi salam, the boats being sabotaged, the people there at that moment would have seen the calamity, missing the big picture that that calamity occurring then saved them from a bigger one. So, for example, even before alcohol is linked to cancer and other diseases, the Quran tells us that the bad in it outweighs the good. It admits that there's good in it, but it tells us outrightly, as clear as possible, that the bad in it outweighs the good and it forbids it for us. When we think of the transformation of the companions of Rasulullah, we are amazed. These people gave their lives in the service of Islam and were ready and did give up all their worldly possessions. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, for example, literally did that. He gave up everything he had. When we compare, we can clearly see how far we are from their level of iman. The good news is, in the Quran, inshallah, we can attain similar levels by going through these stages. We can follow the same steps that they followed and inshallah achieve the same transformation that they did. Our Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam spent considerable time teaching his followers about the king, al-Malik, and his signs. Then he spent some more time purifying them with reminders and guidance from the Quran. So the first few years of his prophethood were about establishing Tawheed, the oneness of Allah, and that alone. At this stage, the Muslims were so humbled by the king's miracles as well as purified from his reminders, that when Allah's laws were finally revealed, they were ready to immediately implement them. They were ready. They said, "We've heard and we obey." The next step they then went through was attaining wisdom behind Allah's laws. Nowadays, with our families and children, we try to teach them the laws in isolation. We say, this is haram, this is halal. That is good. However, we tend to skip the steps of science and purification and go straight to teaching the law, which is why some people from the outside with no knowledge see Islam as restrictive, say Islam dictates every single aspect of your life, because that's what they see. Even when we incorporate the teachings of Allah into our laws, our legal system and household, this alone, as good as it is, does not bring about lasting transformation. If we desire the transformation that the companions of the Messenger and many other Muslims have gone through, the lasting transformation, we must go through the 4 steps detailed in Surah al-jum'at. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. In order for us to be able to fully obey Allah's laws, we must first of all be in no doubt that He exists through His signs and miracles. We must also recognize and respect His authority. Our relationship has to be balanced on fear and hope. So the 4 names we mentioned, Al-Malik, the king, demands respect. if it's the Queen of England or the President of a country, demands respect. And to some extent, we fear them. Well, we fear breaking the rules, the consequences that will befall us. Al-Aziz, similarly, authority demands respect. It is an authority that demands respect, not just any authority, because, for instance, police officers may have authority in the neighborhood, but the community do not respect them. And alternatively, people can respect somebody, but this person does not have authority over them. With Al-Aziz, Allah demands and has the respect over us. If we base our relationship with Allah on fear alone, we will despair and lose hope. We will realize how bad we are when we've committed errors. We will see ourselves in a state that will probably make us lose hope. For instance, for example, the story of the man that killed 99 people. He needed hope. Hope alone, on the other hand, will make us take advantage. We'll like to think we're friends with Allah, and as a result, we'll get special treatment. We'll think if we commit a sin, it's a mistake, Allah will forgive us. So our relationship with Allah has to be based on both fear and hope. Aisha radiallahu anha was quoted to have said, لو أول ما نزل من القرآن لا تشرب الخمر لقلنا والله لا نترك الخمر أبدا. If the first revelation from the Quran was do not drink alcohol, we would have said by Allah we will never stop the consumption of alcohol. And in fact, what she was explaining is saying to us, at that time when Islam started, no one was ready. They were not ready to immediately change their way of life, and they hadn't gone through the steps of transformation. So it would have been difficult if the first day you meet somebody, you're trying to propagate Islam, and the first thing you hit them with is if they're the prohibitions. So we have to consider that when we're trying to propagate our deen amongst our families and ourselves as well. To conclude, I wish to encourage us all to embark on the transformation journey with our families. We must seek Allah through His signs. Allow our hearts to be softened, purified by Allah's words in order to be ready to sincerely implement Allah's rules as we learn of them, even if we do not know the wisdom behind the laws. I wish to remind us all to try our best to learn and teach our families the true Islam. Let's not mix our cultural practices, if they are un-Islamic, with Allah's perfect deen, or if they contradict what Islam teaches. We must be clear about the distinction between man-made and divine laws from Allah. I ask Allah to transform us and make us and our families among those that enjoy the fruits of Islam's transformation in the worldly life and the hereafter. Barakallahu li wa lakum fil Qur'anil Kareem wa nafa'ni wa iyyakum bi ayatihi wa dhikril hakim. Qala Allah ta'ala fil Qur'anil Kareem, Inna Allaha wa malaikatahu yusalluna 'alan nabi ya ayyuhan nasu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. عباد الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. اذكروا الله العظيم يذكركم واشكروا يزدكم واستغفروه يغفر لكم واتقوا يجعل لكم من أمركم مخرجا. أقم الصلاة.